Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the WPS podcast. That is Why People Suck, in case you're new here. My name is Celia, and I'm joined by my co host, best friend, and sister, Alejandra.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be back for another episode where we call out all the ways that people are super annoying and talk about what we can actually do about it. We say it so you don't have to. Today's episode is all about entitled people. So I wanted to look up the definition of entitled because I think it can have several different meanings for people. But so this is kind of what we're talking about today. So I looked it up and on Google it says entitlement or entitled people basically means believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment, which is just perfect. I That's
Yeah,
exactly what we're talking about today. Is just I feel like we were talking about this before we started the podcast, but basically everything we talk about here is basically about entitled people. But there's lots of different examples about it that we witness in our everyday life. So I think dedicating a full episode to those people, those are the people we're talking about today.
yeah, exactly. So, you want to kick us off with our first point, I guess, or first story?
Yeah. So one of the biggest ones that I always see or I can easily pinpoint are the people who think that rules don't apply to them. The main one for me that really makes me mad is you see it when people drive horribly. So our episode on people driving badly, there's a lot of examples in that one about entitled people. Yeah, because I just feel like people when they're driving, they seriously just think that like their time and their mission or wherever they're trying to get to is so much more important than everyone else on the road. And they're just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever I want. And people just have to react to my actions. And that is entitlement. That's like class A entitlement in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually saw something today on the roads. There was this bus so we were all waiting there was a stop sign. There wasn't a light, yeah, it was just a stop sign. And we were all in line. And then this bus just went in front of everybody, just assuming no one was going to be coming the other way. And he just turned to the right at the top and he just went ahead of everybody else.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, I get, yeah. Isn't that insane? A bus.
I
I
know.
mean, I know they have routes and stuff, but what the heck?
Yeah, I mean, I see people. So in downtown here, there are bus lanes that are specifically just for buses. And I see people just go on those because those are normally empty. And again, that's the entitlement. Like people are waiting in line at the light like they're supposed to. And someone, because they just don't feel like waiting in line, they'll cut onto the bus lane and then just go straight. Like you're allowed to use it if you're turning at that block, but people will continue to use it like all the way down, like down 15 blocks and then just cut in front of somebody when they get to the place where they need to like turn or whatever, or if a bus is actually stopped at a bus stop and they'll just come back over. I see that all the time here.
Oh my goodness, that's insane.
Oh yeah, I actually almost got into a wreck because of that, because I was in my lane and then I had to turn. So then I got into the bus, or I was about to get into the bus lane, but there was a car that was like flying down and they honked at me. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, what?
And then after I turned, because then I just went, and then because like they stopped, honked at me because I was like already in the lane, and I was like, what? Where did you even come from? Like the lane just started if you're turning here, you know? And then they kept going straight. So they weren't even turning behind me. They just were using the lane to do exactly what I just said. Entitlement. They honked at me.
Oh my goodness, yeah. What the heck? And this makes me think also of people who use the HOV lines, right?
Oh, you hear all kinds of stories. People like putting like a balloon head or like having a dummy or whatever, or like they put their bag so that it looks like a person next to them.
Oh my goodness. That's ridiculous. It's just they think they're more important than everyone else.
Mhm.
They suck.
Yes.
Yeah. So definitely on the roads, we see a lot of entitlement for sure. And then I guess also people who are always late to stuff. they don't care about wasting other people's time, that's also another form of entitlement. Like, it's just based on your schedule and your schedule alone.
Yeah, there's this quote by Plato that is maybe not exactly about entitlement, but in my mind it kind of correlates. It's good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. And I actually come back to this quote a lot for a lot of different things, but I always kind of feel like entitlement is kind of that, where like there's rules and people who are not entitled follow the rules, and then people who don't want to follow the rules are the entitled people, and they also are the ones who ruin it for everyone else, because then you have to make more rules for these people who won't follow the rules to begin with, and then it punishes everyone, and it's just like this whole trickle down effect, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. You know, a few people ruin it for the majority. That's what it is.
Yeah, the
That's why we
Karens.
have to have laws, because people don't care about other people. I mean, why do we need to have a law that says don't kill people? Isn't that kind of obvious?
You would
I
think.
don't know. Yeah. No, but you're so right about that.
Yeah, so then another one, which I think like retailers and people who work at restaurants probably have a ton of examples about this. Oh, they had to wait 5 minutes more than they thought that they had, or I don't know, like they accidentally put tomatoes in your salad and you didn't want tomatoes, so now they're like, I deserve a free salad because now you've like made me have to wait for my food, or like to bring out my meal, or you ruined it or whatever. When I worked at a restaurant, I remember this one woman. She came in with her full family and her husband paid, and he tipped. And then she came back into the restaurant with her daughter. So her daughter's here witnessing all of this. And she goes, "The service was not what I wanted it to be. I want this taken off the check." The tip. Talking about the tip. And I was like,
Oh.
okay. I mean, I wasn't the one who served her. I was just the one that was like closest. So she came to me
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, well, let me get my manager. And then I went to get the manager, and my manager was like, is this woman serious? Does she want what? And so she had to go out there and deal with her.
Wow.
But I was like, I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe that. And I didn't even tell the server afterwards. I was just like, it's not like, what, why ruin her night? You know, it
Yeah.
was just,
Yeah, because obviously that woman was just having a bad day and taking it out on her
yes.
or him,
And she got
whoever. Yeah.
perfectly good service. I don't know what she was talking about because I was there. I witnessed like
Right.
all of their interaction. They were only in the restaurant for like maybe 40 minutes, and I was like right next to, like, she was sitting next to one of my tables or whatever. So I saw,
Yeah.
like, you know, like I would have seen if there was some sort of situation that happened, or like the server would have said, oh, this woman, whatever. She never said anything. There was no indication that anything had gone wrong, and she just decided that 20% tip was too much.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just in general, you're right. Everyone who works probably in the service industry
Mhm.
has lots of examples of people acting entitled and just being really rude because they want special treatment.
Yeah.
And they get mad about having to wait a little bit to be served when a restaurant is busy or to be seated, whatever it is. It's just like they haven't been out in the real world seeing how we all have to behave and act, and just things don't always go right. But you can't be complaining about that stuff, you know?
Yeah,
Things
exactly.
happen.
Yeah, exactly. Things don't go perfectly. Most of the time, things don't go perfectly, and your expectation has to be that it's not going to go perfectly. I always think that if you go out to a restaurant, like if I was to go back to my early 20s, whatever, when I was dating, if I had if I had thought about this, but taking somebody on a date and seeing how they are with servers, or just like friends, whatever, anything. If anyone that you are with is rude to a server, I'm just like, I don't want to be in your, I don't, no thanks. I don't want anything to do with you, because I think that says a lot about your character. You're just being rude to a stranger
Yeah.
because you can be. Like, you
Yeah.
find any
Yeah.
little
It's like,
reason to be rude. Even if something does go
hmm
wrong, you don't have to be rude about it. You don't. And it's not even their fault.
no, absolutely.
You know, things
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Like, you're saying, oh, it's not their fault. Like getting mad at someone when it's not your fault. Like, for example, if you go in for an appointment and then they're like, oh, the doctor isn't here today. And then you get mad at the receptionist who is just a messenger.
Right.
That's also ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It's completely ridiculous. And like getting mad at your server because your
Yeah.
food is taking too long, it's not the server's fault. It's the kitchen's fault.
Yeah. Totally.
Mhm.
And also like complaining about policies that the workers don't really have any control over. I don't know, like for example, if you go to a restaurant and they're like, no pets allowed inside, but you brought your dog and you're like, this is like my family or whatever. Yeah, yeah, sure. But there's a policy at the restaurant. They're totally allowed to have their own policies, and you're just complaining about that. And then also, that person doesn't have the power to change it for you. And why should they change it just for you? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. Why would they just change it for you? You are just being entitled. Okay, but that's also another thing. People would just bring their pets like to the grocery store or to a restaurant that clearly says no pets. Oh my gosh, it's so disgusting. Please don't do that. The other day, my husband was at the
Yeah.
grocery store and he came home and he was like, you are not going to believe it what I just saw at the grocery store. He was like, there was a dog. It was huge and it was licking the grapes. And I was like, oh my God, grapes from there. That's disgusting. And by the way, there's a huge sign on each door that says no pets allowed.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's so gross.
For that reason, it's not the dog's fault. It sees food. Of course, it wants to lick it or eat it or whatever. Don't bring your dog in there. That's disgusting. One time,
Yeah.
I saw someone with a parrot at the grocery
A
store.
parrot. Oh,
They had a backpack for it, and it was like in a clear backpack, and they were wearing it, and it had holes in it. But I was like, dude, do you know how many diseases birds spread? I hate birds. I hate them. Just FYI. So I was extra disgusted because they're so disgusting. They have so many diseases. And you bring that thing into the grocery store? What is wrong with you?
yeah.
Makes me want to
It's
cry.
not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing against animals, but there's certain places that you don't want them to be. And also, I'm thinking sometimes people are allergic to animals, pets, so that's not very nice of you.
No. Also, all the trails here say that your dog must be on a leash. Hardly ever is a dog on a leash on a trail here. Which, I'm like, I get it. Your dog needs to run around, but that's what dog parks are for. And there's other areas, like, the trails are not a good spot because, I don't know. I just don't. I also really don't like
Yeah.
my dogs running up to my kids because that's like, imagine like a bear running up to you. Even if it was like, you know, because they're small. So a dog is like the same size as them. So it's like something that is the same size that's running up to you, jumping on you, licking you. Even if it's friendly, it's still scary.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It's again just thinking about other people and how they might respond. It's like you just don't think about others.
Not everybody likes dogs. Just because you like dogs doesn't mean other people do. I love dogs, but I don't want it to be jumping on me when it's muddy out.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's also happened to me before. I was like, don't freak out. Don't freak out.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing you can do about it if someone decides that they're not going to bring them on the leash.
Yeah. I'm getting all heated. I'm getting hot. Talking about this.
Yeah, people need to think more about everyone else. You're not the main character.
No. Yeah, the main character energy is real.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I want people to live their lives to the fullest and be happy, but not at the expense of other people's happiness, okay? That is where we draw the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly easy to live your life and be happy and do the things that you want to do without being entitled and like ruining other people's experience on Earth. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. This main character syndrome that we were talking about, I'm thinking about things like people who are just walking on the street or at the grocery aisle or something, and they just stop in the middle of the sidewalk or whatever, and you're behind them, and you're like, dude, what the heck? What's the matter with you?
I'm sure you
trying to walk too.
Yeah, I'm sure you see that in London all the time because all the tourists, they just stop in the middle. They're like looking at their maps or whatever, and they're just like oblivious. And you're like, dude, I'm just trying to go to work. Can you please move out of the way, like to the corner?
Oh my goodness, yes, I do see that all the time. and in public transportation too, which is something that we talked about in our public transit episode. But that too, it's like just no awareness of anyone around you. It's all about you. And I just can't stand that kind of energy from people.
Oh, so irritating.
Yeah.
What about people in parking lots? That's another thing. When people park and they take up two spots, or
Oh, yeah.
they just get too close to the line to where you're like, well, I can't park here because you're gonna ding my car, or I can't get out now if I park here. That happens at work
Hmm.
all the time. It makes me crazy.
Yeah, it's so annoying. Or parking, I guess, not in a parking spot where you're blocking people from leaving. That too, just because you're like in a rush. Again, it's like your time is more valuable than other people's. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Or in a fire lane, you're not supposed to park there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in a disabled spot if you're not disabled or don't have the disabled sign, right?
Yes. Oh, another thing that really makes me mad that I feel like is also entitlement is people not returning their carts at the grocery store. They just leave them, or they just like put them wherever instead of returning it to the little thing. Like, every single grocery store I go to has so many of those return things. You probably only have to walk maybe an extra 50 steps there and back to your car. It's not that big of a deal. One time, this woman, instead of walking it back to her thing, which by the way was literally 2 spots away, she leaves it in front of her car. So then she gets in the car and the thing starts moving and it hits my car as I'm sitting in the car
Oh,
watching this woman just like walk away. And I was like, are you serious? So I got out of the car, took the cart, and I walked it back to the place, and I just looked at her and I was just like shaking my head no at her. She's like, "Ah." And then she
yeah.
looked and she was like, I could tell she was like, oh my gosh, like she thought I was gonna come up to her and just start yelling at her, which I probably should have, but I don't really want to get shot. So not worth it. And luckily, it
Yeah.
didn't do anything in my car. You're so busy that you can't walk it two parking spots over. So lazy, so
Yeah.
entitled.
Seriously. Seriously, even Kylie Jenner can. Do you remember that viral clip where it's like, yes, go Kylie?
I never saw that.
I'm going to link that in the description of this episode. If anyone in our audience, if you know, you know.
That's funny. There is actually a segment on Dumois, which is the podcast, the Instagram account about celebrities. And people will put in like, oh, saw so and so returning their cart. What a great person or whatever. And it's like a whole thing now. Like they're holding the celebrities accountable for returning.
That's so funny because that's like minimum effort.
It really is. Like you're praising these people. But to be fair, a lot of famous and rich people are entitled. Not saying all of them, but some of them are. So the fact that most of them are returning their cards, hey, the movement is working.
Yeah, that's so funny. And also thinking something related to that is people who just leave their trash on benches and things instead of putting them in a trash can that might be like 2 feet away.
Yeah.
Or even like at food courts and things where I know they have people picking stuff up, but it doesn't really cost you anything to put your tray back.
You're supposed to do that. That's kind of the thing. Like, people aren't really supposed to be cleaning up after you. Like, the whole point is for you to take your stuff back to the trash. Like,
Well, there you
self-serve.
go then. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is annoying. Other things related, I guess, to like eating out. I'm thinking about people who don't respect the reserved seating signs and things like that. That's kind of annoying because then you get there and you're like, hey, this is my spot. And sometimes they're like, well, we were here first. And it's like, no, that's not how reservations work.
Yeah. We've had, like, birthday parties when you have to reserve, like, the park area. You have to reserve that. And then it's so awkward because you're like, it says reserved, it has my name on it. Like, can you please move? And then they'll be like, oh, okay, we'll just move over here to this table. And I'm like, no, I reserved the whole area because I need the whole area. Please clear out.
Yeah.
Don't make me have this awkward
Yeah.
conversation with you.
Yeah, especially if it has the time on there. Like, yeah, sure, sit up until that point, but then get up. You know that someone has reserved it. I don't get why that's so difficult.
Yeah, I don't either. So awkward. Like, I
Yeah.
would be mortified if somebody came up to me and was like, can you move? And then I was like, no. And then they were like, I reserved it. Please move. Like, oh, it's just awkward
Yeah.
situations make me feel weird. Some people can handle well. They're just like, I don't care what people say about me or think about me. It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh, another thing I was thinking about, I think, in terms of like public spaces, obviously, we've talked about people who listen to their phones or music full blast and they're using like the public space to film or do anything where there's other people trying to use spaces and asking people to move just to film. So I guess that kind of behavior where you just think that you can use a space for your purposes, but no one else can, and you're inconveniencing everybody else. That's just rude.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And also, just being really loud annoys me too. Like, I'm very sensitive to sounds. So, if people are just screaming, playing music, being really loud in a place where you're not meant to, that's also annoying. And I have an unpopular opinion. Look, you have children, I don't. So, so I want to bring this up and I want to hear your opinion. But I'm annoyed when parents don't do anything about their kids screaming like at restaurants. I understand children play and they laugh, whatever, but if they're screaming and just being really bratty and the parents don't do anything about it, don't try to calm them down, that's what gets me. That's so annoying. That's entitled behavior to me.
Yeah, also you're creating an entitled child. Like it is really hard to control kids when you're out and about, but like if my kids start screaming and being just annoying to people around me, I take them out. Like I'll be like, you are not allowed to be here in this space with other people if you are not being respectful. Like if
Mm-hmm.
like for example, we'll go to like a coffee shop. Obviously there's people working and there's people, playing games or whatever, but the coffee shops are not normally places where you're screaming. And they generally
Mm-hmm.
are fine and good and do stuff like that. But we'll start playing and then one of them will get mad and start screaming and blah 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 or whatever. And we'll tell them like, okay, you need to be quiet or you need to stop or whatever. And we give them a couple of warnings. And then after that, I'll take them out. I'll take them outside. I'm like, you are not allowed to be inside until you calm down because that's not fair to other
Mm-hmm.
people. And it's a lesson for them
Yeah.
too. Like they need to learn that I get you have feelings. You have big feelings. You're a kid. You don't know how to handle them. I get it. I have big feelings too, but you can't just behave that way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I would also like to throw myself on the ground at times and start crying and kicking and screaming, but I can't.
Yeah. That reminds me again, another meme. I feel like I have a meme for every occasion where it's like, why is this little kid screaming in the middle of a restaurant? Like, I'm the one with the real problems. I'm the one who should be screaming.
Timmy, what's your problem?
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot. Actually, entitled parents, that is a whole topic because we haven't had to deal with this yet because our kids are not old enough to be in school, but I've heard so many stories of parents going to teachers and being like, my kid is super smart. Why didn't he or she get an A on this? And it's like, well, they got the answers wrong or they did so well. Like that happens. They're like, no, I want a redo. What do you mean that you want a redo on the test or the quiz or the homework that they failed? No, that's not fair. Why does your little Timmy get a redo, but all the other little guys don't get one? I don't think so.
You're so right. I have heard of these things happening too. And then some parents do get away with it because I don't know, they give a lot of money to schools and they just like put people in compromising positions and that is just not good.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Sure. Entitled parenting will be a good episode for a few years down the road when I've had some more experience with entitled parents. But who could probably give us some good examples is mom. Our mom was a teacher. She's retired now, but she was a teacher and had to deal with a lot of parents, and it was at a private school. So even more entitlement there.
Oh yeah, we should definitely ask.
Yeah.
Get some intel on that.
Yeah. Oh, do you remember when we graduated high school, there's always like this big party at graduation and you only get so many guests to invite because it's like a very
yeah.
big, you get one table and the table I think has like 10 people, 10 or 15, maybe 20. I don't remember anymore. But the thing is you don't get more than that. That's it. The place is only so big. They can only, pay for X amount of money for whatever, for food and drinks and all that stuff. But people, I remember these parents would get so crazy because they would be like, I want to be first in line because I want to pick the best table and I deserve more seats and I want 2 tables. And it's like, that's not how it works. You get 1 table. And it was like a relay or whatever, like what's it called? One of those where
Yeah,
you get the number and the number that you get is the number that you show up at
like a raffle.
yeah, it's a raffle. So if you get number 20, then you're number 20 and then you get to go, you pick your table and you're number 20 in line and that's it.
Yeah. People just trying to change the rules of the game because they think that they're more important than everyone else.
Yes, and they have to have this table because they're so important and they have so many people that have to be invited. It's like everybody has a lot of people they want to invite. Okay? You got to draw the line.
Yeah.
You get the number that you get, that's it. You're not more special than everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. I just don't understand where this mentality comes from, where you just think that the world revolves around you. And also, and in that sense, like you expect other people to do stuff for you, but you never return favors, you never reciprocate kindness and things like that. I hate that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for example, with friends who might always assume that you're going to host instead of them also pitching in and helping with things, or just canceling last minute because you think that only you matter, not showing up for people when they show up for you, that sort of thing. I also view as entitlement.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all the examples I could think of. Do you have any others?
No, I think that's a good start. We could probably do another episode with other examples because every day you encounter entitled people and they have different ways of showing it, and it's just so annoying every time, isn't it? So we could definitely come back to this topic at some point. But for now, I think that we've touched on a lot of different aspects of entitlement.
Yeah. And if our viewers and listeners have any other examples that they want us to talk about or any other examples you want to share, please do.
Yes, you can DM us at the WPS podcast and comment and like our posts. Let us know. And we'll see you next time. We said it, so you didn't have to.
Bye.